About face, Hochul sides with Mayor Adams to lift right to shelter law. Now all of a sudden that the chickens are coming home to roost. We tried to warn them that the whole right to shelter thing is ridiculous law. It only hurts the people of your state, of your city, when you put in illegal immigrants first. And now the chickens are coming home to roost, and they're trying to change their minds about their so-called right to shelter law. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Uh, Just the News reports that Governor Kathy Hochul is siding with New York City Mayor Eric Adams in a push to suspend the city's right to shelter law amid an ongoing surge of asylum seekers. Now, this is because people are fed up. They're finally speaking out against this. The majority of the people in New York do not want these illegal immigrants in their state, in their cities, in their towns, and they are giving it to Kathy Hochul and Eric Adams. So they have to do something about it because they're losing all their constituents. But in a new filing in the state Supreme Court, lawyers for the Hochul administration said the state supports the city's request to modify a decades-old consent decree requiring New York City to provide shelter to anyone homeless, regardless of their immigration status. Hochul's lawyers wrote in the letter to the court that the parties who signed the agreement more than 40 years ago never contemplated, quote, the influx of so many migrants in such a short period of time. But people like myself have been warning about this for years. But quote, they go on to say, quote, despite unprecedented resources deployed by the city and the state to assist the newly arrived migrants, the current situation is not sustainable, they wrote. Hochul court filing in the legal fight is the first time her administration has supported a rollback of the shelter mandate, which Adams requested from the court last week. Now, city officials also asked that the rules be suspended whenever the governor or mayor declares a state of emergency and there's an influx of people seeking shelter. Quote, to be very clear, the city is not seeking to terminate the right to shelter. We are simply asking for the city's obligations to be aligned with those of the rest of the state during a state of emergency, Adams, a Democrat, said in a statement. Throughout this crisis, not a single family with children has been forced to sleep on the streets. In July, the Adams administration moved to limit homeless shelters stays for single adult asylum seekers to 60 days to create more space for migrant families with children. Again, so we're kicking out our our own people for migrant families. And in September, the city shelter limit was reduced to 30 days. But homeless advocates like the Legal Aid Society involved in the original consent decree opposed the city's efforts to lift the requirements. They say the move would leave many homeless migrants with nowhere to live as winter approaches. So, Legal Aid Society, you pay for these people then. I mean, where's the money got to come from somewhere? New Yorkers are saying they don't have it. But, quote, thousands of human beings will be relegated to sleeping on the streets, exposed to the elements in a grave risk of bodily harm and even death, the group said. But to be honest, they brought this on to themselves. They're the ones who came across it into this country um, illegally. No one made them do this. But New York City has seen more than 125,000 migrants arrive over the past year amid a surge of immigration along the U.S.-Mexico border that has reached historic levels in recent months. The Big Apple is caring for more than 64,000 migrants in more than 200 emergency shelters, with the city's cost of responding to the crisis expected to grow to $12 billion over the next several years. And last week, nearly 4,000 migrants arrived in New York City over a 7-day period ending Sunday, according to the Adams administration. Again, This is what happened when you have to live out these liberal policies. You're only hurting your own constituents, your own people, for people that came here by breaking the law. That they are criminals by definition. You giving them more rights and more protections than your own citizens. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.